in the Department of Science and Technology at Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to take the lecture on the subject name System Analysis and Design. And today's session is Object Oriented Systems Analysis and Design. We have already learned this object and classes in the C++ language. Okay, the same concept we can use here in analysis and design. So this object oriented approach to developing information system, which is technically speaking can be used any of the traditional methodology. Okay, so in this system analysis and design, we have also learned about the models of software development life cycle like waterfall development, parallel development, V model, iterative development, system prototype and throwaway prototype. So these are basically the models. Okay, so this object oriented approach are most associated with the iterative development RAD methodology. However, so the primary difference between traditional approach like structured design and an object oriented approach is how a problem is decomposed. So in traditional approaches, the problem decomposition is either process centric or data centric. Right. So when modeling real world systems is involved, however, processes and data are so slowly related that it is difficult to pick one or the other as the primary focus. So on the in 1995 object concepts were popular those days, but implemented in many different ways to different developers. So each developer had his or her own methodology and notations like Booch, Code, Moses, OMT, OS and so on. So then in 1995, Rational Software brought three industry leaders together to create a single approach which is called as the object-oriented system development. And Grady Bosch, Evert Jacobson and James Rambaugh worked with others to create a standard set of diagramming technique which is known as Unified Modeling Language, that is UML. So this UML, the version 2.0 is the current version which are used nowadays, and according to this its creators an object oriented approach to developing information system, this must be use case driven, architecture centric and the iterative and incremental approach. So let's see the use case driven method. Use case driven method means that use cases are the primary modeling tool employed to define the behavior of the system, and this use case describes how the users interact with the system to perform some activity like placing an order, making a reservation or searching for information. So the use case, these are used basically to identify and communicate the requirements for the system to the programmers who must write the system. So the next we come to the architecture centric. Then this any modern approach to systems analysis and design should be architecture centric, and this architecture centric means that the underlying architecture of the evolving system drives the specification, constructions and documentations of the system. There are basically three separate but interrelated architecture views of the system. First is the functional, static and the dynamic. In the functional view, this describes the external behavior of the system from the perspective of the user. So the user should know the external behavior, okay, how this system will work. Okay, so on the surface, like this is closely related to the process modeling approach in structured analysis and design, and there are important difference between them also. So the static view describes the structure of the system in terms of attributes, methods, classes, relationships, and messages. So this view is very you can say similar to data modeling approach in structured analysis and design. The dynamic view describes the internal behavior of the system in terms of messages passed between objects and states changes within an object. So this view is very ways combines the process and data modeling approaches. So because the execution of the method can of course cause state changes in the receiving object. Now the another one is iterative and incremental. As the name itself means that till we will not get the output, we iteratively doing the task, and as I said in the SDLC also, the requirements are changed accordingly. So we need to develop a small prototype so that after satisfaction of the user, we will elaborate it, or we will continue this processing it, or it might be some changes which is suggested by the user. So we will do some modifications in that prototype. So that's why this is called as the iterative and incremental model. Okay. Now the benefits are the because sometimes the user are not satisfied, so the whole thing will be changed, but it is very much problematic when we people space like developers already design the forms and coding and like, so these all activities and he already did, but the thing is when after the users requirement or some like suggestions that you have to change this or you have to modify this, there is a need to change, so the whole work is totally waste. Okay, work and time also. So here we built a small prototype. So, okay, then after we will enhance this. So this is the of course benefits of this model. Okay. This is all about object-oriented concepts and methods. Thank you. This session powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jayati Vidyapeeth Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.